I'm retiring from the UFC after 2 years of ducking, dodging, and disappearing.
Just weeks after Jon Jones claimed he was retiring from MMA, the truth has come out. He is not gone. In fact, the real story is just beginning, and it is uglier than anyone expected. This is not just about fighting. This is about legacy, politics, and the soul of the UFC. When Jones made his dramatic exit after UFC 309, fans rolled their eyes. They had heard it before. Jones had teased retirement so many times that no one really believed him. But what happened next confirmed everyone's suspicions. Only 2 weeks later, he re-entered the USADA testing pool. That was not the move of a man walking away. That was a signal. Jon Jones was coming back, but not for any normal fight. This was something much bigger. At the same time, Donald Trump, now back in the White House, announced something no one thought was real: a UFC event on the White House lawn to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Just as that announcement made headlines, Jones quietly started training again. His timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. Fans were furious. "He's not retiring," one post read. "He's just waiting for a White House photo shoot." Another said, "Jones saw the cameras and ran straight to the spotlight." But what bothered fans even more was who Jones was avoiding: Tom Aspinall. Aspinall is the interim heavyweight champion. He has defended his title, stayed active, and kept the division alive while Jones has been missing. Yet somehow, Aspinall is being ignored. He trains in silence, wins without drama, and still gets left behind. While he sacrifices, Jones watches from the sidelines and picks fights that suit his image. Social media is on fire. One fan said, "He's ducking the real challenge. He wants easy fights with the cameras on." Another wrote, "They stripped Ngannou and Conor for less. Why is Jones still the champion?" And that is the real controversy. Why does Jon Jones still hold the heavyweight title? He has not defended it in nearly 2 years. When fighters like Francis Ngannou or Conor McGregor were inactive, the UFC took their belts without hesitation. Yet Jones gets special treatment. Dana White's only response is, "You can't make someone fight." But fans are tired of excuses. The UFC has rules. At least, that is what fighters are told. But when it comes to Jon Jones, the rules seem to vanish. He is treated like royalty. Former fighters are speaking out. Daniel Cormier said clearly, "The belt cannot sit in one place just because one guy refuses to defend it." That one quote hit hard, because it was true. The heavyweight division is frozen. Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Jailton Almeida, and especially Tom Aspinall are all stuck in limbo. Waiting, training, ready, but ignored. And while they wait, Dana White protects Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall is not just another fighter. He has been the perfect champion. Quiet, loyal, humble. He trains without complaint. He thanks the UFC in every interview, and he has never demanded anything. But his patience is wearing thin. In one recent interview, he said, "I'm ready for Jon when he's ready. But I've earned my shot." The message was calm, but the meaning was clear. He is done being ignored. The tension exploded when a leaked fight card for July 4th, 2026 hit the internet. On the main event, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, no Aspinall, no unification, just a flashy legacy fight between a semi-retired champion and an inactive legend. Fans were stunned. At first, people thought it was fake, but then ESPN insiders and MMA Hour journalists confirmed it. The backlash was instant. Tom Aspinall responded with a single emoji on X, a clown face. That one post got nearly 2 million views in hours. It was the post that said everything. UFC veteran Michael Bisping called it a disgrace. "If this is real," he said, "they're turning the most historic UFC event into a circus." So why Miocic? Because he fits the image. He is a firefighter, an American hero, a symbol, perfect for a patriotic celebration on the White House lawn. But that is not how the UFC is supposed to work. Miocic has not fought since 2021. Aspinall is the current interim champion. He is active, he is healthy, and he is being ignored. Then Jon Jones finally spoke. He posted a short video on Instagram. "I respect Tom," he said. "He's a great fighter, but I don't owe anyone anything. I've earned the right to choose who I fight." That sentence made everything worse. Fans lit up the comments. So, legacy means more than competition now? Why fight someone inactive when the real champion is waiting? Even Ariel Helwani called it a dodge. Joe Rogan said it plainly. Jones is making his legacy a joke. He's hiding behind pageantry. What happened to the Jones who took on everyone? Who fought killers in their prime? Now, he picks ceremonial bouts under American flags. At UFC 307, Dana White finally broke his silence. A reporter asked, "Why Jones versus Miocic? What about Aspinall?" White laughed. Then he dropped the line that shattered any illusion of fairness. "Aspinall's not a main event draw. Jones and Miocic sell. That's the fight." That sentence exposed everything. This is no longer about titles. It is about headlines. It is about money. It is about power. Days later, leaked audio added fuel to the fire. In the recording, a voice that sounded like White said, "Aspinall is amazing, but he doesn't sell pay-per-views. He's not going on the White House card." Whether it was real or not, the damage was done. The message was clear. If you do not have star power, you do not get your shot. Fighters began speaking out. Chris Weidman said on TV, "Tom has done everything right. It's shameful he's not the main event." Aljamain Sterling tweeted, "They tell us to win belts, but even that doesn't matter now." Behind the scenes, a group of fighters led by Belal Muhammad drafted an open letter calling for fair title defenses. It leaked before it could even be released. That leak triggered debates across ESPN, podcasts, and fight forums. Even sponsors took notice. Reebok issued a statement saying they supported merit-based opportunity in sports. Fans knew what they meant. And still, Tom Aspinall stayed quiet. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, he said softly, "I'm not trying to start a fight outside the cage. I just want to fight the best. That's what the UFC used to be about." That sentence crushed people. Because he was right. July 4th, 2026, finally arrived. The octagon stood on the south lawn of the White House. Marines stood in formation. American flags draped the stage. Trump sat in the front row, smiling. The arena was filled with celebrities, politicians, and corporate guests. But one man was missing: Tom Aspinall. The main event began. Jones versus Miocic. But it was not a fight. Miocic looked slow. He had no rhythm. Jones dominated the match and submitted him in the second round. The crowd clapped, but the energy was flat. The moment felt empty. Then came the post-fight interview. Joe Rogan stepped into the octagon. Before he could speak, chants started in the crowd. Soft at first, then louder. "Tom! Tom!" Tom Jones looked shaken. Dana White's smile faded. The cameras kept rolling. Jones took the mic. "Tom Aspinall, let's do it. If I'm still champion, you'll get your shot." But it was too late. The fans were not fooled. The sport had been betrayed. The next day, hashtags exploded. UFCRIGGED. Where's Aspinall? Unify or vacate. Memes flooded the internet. Petitions were launched. Leaked emails from UFC staff showed that matchmakers had warned White. "This fight won't land with the fans," one wrote. "We need Aspinall." But Dana White didn't listen. And what about Tom? A week later, he posted a photo on Instagram. He stood alone in a dark gym. No caption, just 3 words. "I'll be ready." That one post hit harder than any punch thrown in the octagon. Because in a sport full of noise, Aspinall's silence was the loudest message of all. He didn't beg. He didn't complain. He didn't threaten. He waited. But now, the fans are with him. And the real war, the one for the soul of the UFC, has finally begun.